anywhere from 20 to 600 bodies in just one area. So look how many areas it's hit. So the truth needs to be, known by everybody, everywhere. Our government at the time has not, done some of the things that they should have done. A lot of the supplies that we would send in certain areas, FEMA and the National Guard would actually stop the supplies and turn them away, and then we would have to bring them here, and then we would send them back out to be able to get them through. They actually, a lot of families that I've spoke with, they actually were told to evacuate, but they were told to evacuate way too late, because by the time they were told to evacuate, the water was already coming into their homes. And I mean, there was a mother that had children that was getting ready for school, and then the one son was like, "Hey Mom, the water's in the yard." And then by the time she was still doing what she was doing, the water was already in her house, and then it was her trying to rescue and save her kids.
Everybody moved on. Help, I'm still at the restaurant, still sitting in a corner I haunt, cross-legged in the dim light. They say what a sad sight. I stayed there, dust collected on my pinned up hair. I'm sure that you got a wife out there, kids and Christmas, but I'm unaware, 'cause I'm right where
911, what's your emergency?
Okay, I'm in the middle of a flood. It's up to my trailer, and please send somebody to come get me.
Honey, where are you at? We have got multiple people from multiple counties everywhere. I promise they're in the way.
Yeah, because oh my God.
I'm sorry, we're trying our best, baby, okay? 911, where's your emergency?
Our house, this house is like split in half. There's people hollering.
Okay, is this a house or is it a trailer?
It's a trailer. Like everybody's trailer is floating away. And
she says, I was just with a woman that they took her 3 children, and one of them's autistic. I said, where are they going to put them? He said, they're going to separate them, put them in foster homes.
Yeah.
I said, how do you get them back? And there's no answer to that.
Yeah.
But then when they closed down the food pantry for us, so she couldn't get food to people, it's like, what are you doing? And it was,
yeah,
what
people
she
are
said,
saying
DHS.
that's the media saying that's not true, that they're not shutting down food.
They didn't shut it down, they took it over.
Taking them over, they're saying they're not doing that. Oh, the government's not doing that.
Well, this is a lady
and they're not
that I
taking
personally know.
kids. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is on the media, on national media, they're saying that is untrue, that they're not doing that.
They're also saying there's only 200 people dead.
Yeah.
They haven't found
I think
most of them.
The last report I saw was like 230. That was probably 5 weeks ago. They stopped reporting deaths.
Yep.
And I know for a fact more than that have been found since I've been here.
They're still finding them along the river.
Oh, yeah.
She had met with this woman, and that morning her children had been taken away.
Okay.
And then that same day she went over.
And in areas out here, they're finding groups of bodies.
Still finding pieces
but
up in
only
trees.
230 from the entire storm across all the states.
This lady that I know in Elizabethton was talking to a fire chief that she knows.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden DPS shows up, and then your son is gone.
Yeah. They closed my case, and then a few days later, I get knocks on my door.
And so if Helene wasn't bad enough,
Yeah.
they got to hit you when you're already vulnerable and on the edge.
They know that I'm here by myself doing what I can myself for 2 other human beings. He's in foster care at least an estimated an hour and 45 minutes away.
And right before I pulled in here, you just got a piece of mail.
I did.
And the gist of that document basically says that the judge just has decided it's in the best interest of Benji to stay in the state's custody until December 3rd, where you're going to have a preliminary hearing.
Correct.
Now, at the first preliminary hearing, you were not accompanied by an attorney.
No.
You were alone.
I was alone.
And did you ask for an attorney?
I did.
And you were denied.
I filled out the paperwork. It was given back to the judge, and the judge, or the circuit, or the clerk's office 2 days later called me back and said that the Judge Bowers, denied my request.
And that's because they counted the Social Security your son receives
that follows my son
as income for you, which then disqualified your ability to retain state-appointed defense. And the craziest part is you're not receiving those funds. Protective Services is.
They go to the foster family, plus I have to pay child support on top, plus I have to have a place for him to live, plus I have to have transportation to visit him 4 months consecutively, or I lose my parental rights.
So the income that you would have been using to create a rehabilitated home from this situation is now taken away. So they moved him 2 hours away.
Yes.
Knowing that you have car troubles, knowing that you don't have the money for a lawyer, they won't give you a lawyer, and they want you, when you're taking care of your mother, to now stop everything you're doing, get a full-time job, and then somehow be able to take care of your mother and drive 2 hours for visitation.
Classes and do this and do that.
Do you think it's possible to do all the programs they want you to do and take care of your mother and go get a full-time job and be able to maintain that job?
If it's doable, it'll be probably the hardest thing I ever do in my life, with having to take care of mom and still take care of myself so that I'm good.
Do you think they really are understanding the situation that they're putting you in as a mom?
They don't give a shit. They don't care.
And you've had clean drug tests, and they want more and more and more. It seems like when they make one line and they say, hey, come to this line and we'll give you your son back.
You gotta step to this one.
And then the next one.
And then you gotta take 20 more steps. Here's your new one.
It's never good enough, is it?
It's gonna go past.
It's gonna go past that Dodge Ram up there pretty soon.
It's gonna go past that. You know.
We're on the other side of the mountain.
It's gonna go down to the state line. It will.
And then by then, you know what they do? They've alienated you so far and drugging you through the mud so far that now they say, well, you have no established ties. And constitutionally, we have no obligation to reunite families with no established ties.
When you're singled out, you're alone, you're alienated. Who in their right mind would allow a child to go back to somebody like that? But they've designed it that way.
It feels like a boot on the back of your neck, doesn't it?
On the back of your neck, in your nose, in your jaw, in your chest, in your stomach.
And does that make it hard to do the right thing every day? Does it make it more difficult for you to do the right things for yourself and as a mother and for everyone that needs you? Does it make it any easier or harder on you, all this pressure and weight that they put on you?
Pressure and the weight make you want to crumble. I mean, for 8 years now, that's all I've had to be is strong. And I crumbled one time. Once.
After a horrible disaster.
After a disaster. And they're making me pay for that now. And I understand I'm human. I will make mistakes. I did make mistakes. I don't believe I need to pay to this degree. Period. End of story. You don't need to traumatize my son more, who's already been through enough.
Why should you care? It's coming to a community near you. I'm going to make sure that every single person that wants to know what is actually happening here in Western North Carolina knows from the boots on the ground. Jason A. Ward, this is the first content creator of many that I'm going to highlight in my post. So for anybody who wants to know exactly what happened here, what is happening here, what it looks like, why people say it's apocalyptic, why Roy Cooper said there was $53 billion in damage, why they're ordering 10,000 body bags, just look at this footage and check back for more posts, because I'm going to give you at least a dozen different content creators who are boots on the ground, and you will be able to see for yourself what is going on here. This is a humanitarian crisis on a level that is hard to even fathom. And watch every one of Jason Ward's videos since September 27th.
could never come between us. Sometimes the dreamers finally wake up. Don't wake me, I'm not dreaming. Don't wake me, I'm not dreaming. Past times could never hold me down. Lost love, sweeter when it's finally found. I've got the strangest feeling.
There's a lot of stray dogs. Well, not necessarily stray dogs, but dogs where the owners have passed away or evacuated, mixed in everywhere. So our guys are pretty good at identifying the difference, but everywhere that we're searching is very much spread thin and has been for weeks. I got guys that have been working sunrise to sunup for weeks. These guys right here came up from a church group with all this equipment, these excavators out of their own pocket, and every day from sunrise to sundown, they're moving debris, pulling these piles out so we can sift through, so we can get the dogs in, so we can try to get scent, so we can separate all of this out here. You see this monstrous island of a pile out here. You're talking about up to 40 feet high of debris, just solid packed on top of 15 feet of sediment that's been deposited. So it's a massive project we got going on, and we're just begging and borrowing excavators every day to get up here on their time around their work and their family life, on their own dime, with their own diesel, out here helping us try to find these folks.
What's happening, folks? Geologist Philip Prince out in the field today on a landslide, specifically a debris flow. Talked a lot about these in recent videos. You're looking up one right now, and the reason I want to start with this one is because when it moved down slope, it was going so fast it went across the stream you see down there and actually rode up on the opposite bank. And right at the end of the finger, you can see the highest mud line over there. It's actually quite a bit above where I'm standing right now. I bet that is, I don't know, 60 feet or something like that above where the stream channel would be, if not more. And that kind of behavior, that speed, that fluidity, that's what debris flows do, but they're carrying mud and rocks and trees with them. If you look back up the slope there, there's plenty of trees on either side of this scoured out area. It used to be totally covered with trees, and they went along for that ride as well, right? So you will see this place again in the course of this video. I'm gonna start off now on another debris flow on the other side of the ridge here, but I thought this one was a good introduction because that kind of behavior that you see back there, call it super elevation, that is very much a debris flow specific thing. And these Helene debris flows, particularly this one, did it to an extreme that's about as big as you ever see anywhere in the Southern Appalachians. So over the course of this video, you know, just going to see a bunch of field shots here. It's going to be a mix and match, but hopefully with phenomena like this, it'll give you a sense of how these things actually work and what the real on-the-ground appearance of all those Microsoft Paint drawings I do actually is. All right, so almost up to the channel head here, and looking down from this point, you see a mud line right about there on those trees and a huge debris pile over here that's full of tree debris and a bunch of rocks. A lot of leaves have fallen on this since I was up here last week, but
Put your head on my
that, and all these groups are coming down here, and it's a nice thought,
Yeah.
and they're building these tiny homes that don't have to be inspected, so it's a shed with an outlet.
They do have to be inspected. We're finding that out. And in fact, we had a person to donate 100 of them down in Barnesville, and we got 25 of them put up, for people to live in, and which was better than the dirt.
Well, of course.
And so they were living in them, and the county comes in and says they won't pass inspection. You can't do it.
Yeah.
So we got 75 of them sitting down there that won't, that we can't do nothing with.
And we know I know like volunteers that have been coming in like every other week, every weekend, things like that are coming back, and they're bringing all this material, all these tools. They've got like already kits pretty much cut out.
Yeah.
To just put them together real quick, and I'm like, I've tried to tell them like people are not going to be able to live in these, and it's like maybe one person could live in there.
Yeah.
And it's
But
not
still,
living.
That's better than a tent.
Right. It is better than a tent for sure.
This is the best way that I know how to truly portray the magnitude of this event. Currently out here in the Bee Tree area, just north of Swannanoa, North Carolina, in Buncombe County. This is where a large majority of the fatalities have been in North Carolina, is within this county, as catastrophic flooding occurred throughout the area. People, animals, pets, houses, cars, trees, anything that stood in the way of this water was swept away. We do have multiple state, federal, local resources out here. FEMA, a task force from California associated with FEMA Search and Rescue was out here earlier. They've been clearing this area of deceased victims, at least searching for them. But this is a large scale disaster. This is a very small portion. You have landslides over on this side. And then just absolute obliteration of structures on this side. I mean, there's no words. It's absolutely heartbreaking. It's terrifying to think of what the residents of these areas experienced. You have groups of volunteers and four-wheelers going down these back country roads. If I am correct about this, this is Bee Tree Road. Damage is very extensive all the way down this road into Swannanoa, where I know multiple people have passed away. You have houses that are swept away, destroyed, people's lives gone. It's absolutely crazy. And you have compromised bridges throughout the area here. So, and you have supply drops, which thankfully are very common throughout this area. National Guard, FEMA, Samaritan's Purse, local churches, and then pretty much everybody in America who is aware of what's ongoing here has sent donations or brought in donations or shown up with donations and volunteered for search and rescue. Samaritan's Purse does have a lot of volunteers on the ground here in Swannanoa. Elsewhere, I haven't seen them too much. I've seen more National Guard elsewhere. But one of the biggest things that people are asking for here is cash donations. A lot of these areas are going to be significantly affected as far as living conditions for months. For months, power is going to be extremely spotty. Underground communication lines for internet is also going to be extremely spotty. And then most areas are not going to have any running water for at least a month, is what I've been told.
So this Bible was found after the flood from Hurricane Helene,
On this fence post,
and it is on Revelation 14 and 15.
all the things destroyed, that was left open, and it's sitting there, and we're not touching it. So
This house was buried and flooded all the way to the roof originally. The man that lived here had to be rescued off of the roof by a raft, and they were just emptying it, just demoing the entire house. And this Bible was found on a pole, open to Revelation.
Anyway, so we're in Old Fort, North Carolina, and my brother was rescued off of the roof right here. This is 12 South Money Avenue in Old Fort. So he had to get rescued with a boat off of the roof. And after everything happened, once everything was done, the water, we got trailers everywhere. We went outside to notice something that's kind of crazy, but it really opens your eyes. Is you can see the carnage, trailers over there and everything. But this Bible was stuck on this fence post, open to Revelations. Of all the things destroyed, that was left open, and it's sitting there and we're not touching it. So that's not a message. Somebody needs to wake up. So